Hi everyone, this is Ravi Shankar, and today we are going to talk about port forwarding. As we have discussed in the last session, masquerading, now it's time to talk about port forwarding. So, see, masquerading and port forwarding both are the form of network address translation. In Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7, network address translation can be configured with the help of firewall daemon. So, what is basically port forwarding? Port forwarding is what? Forward traffic of a port on a different port on the same machine, or it may on the different machine. So, for this purpose, I have a diagram here. Let me open the diagram. So, open this document. It's loading. So, this is a very good program actually flow. I was looking for a program. This is a very good program flow. So, see, client1.example.com and puppet.example.com. I'm assuming both these machines are the client machine, and server1.example.com is my server machine where web server is running. Then we have another classroom.example.com currently, which is providing the DNS DSCP services, as well as classroom.example.com is configured as a repository server. So it looks like there is a router, there is a cloud, so there must be different network. That's right. But to do the things in an easy way, I have configured everything in the same network only. It may be on the different network. You can use the masquerading there to forward the traffic of a network to a different network. But in my case, I am going to use this scenario only. So let's see the status of machines. So server1.example.com, puppet.example.com, client1.example.com, and RHEL server. This is classroom.example.com. So let's open the machine and verify the name and IP address of the machines. Let me supply the username and password. So it's taking time. No issues. Let's supply the password and verify the host name, IP address information. Yeah, let me supply the password. So it's coming up. It's taking time because there is only 1 GB memory I have provided to this machine. This is a RHEL 7 machine actually. Yeah, it's happening now. If you wish to verify, you can write cat etc red hat release. Can you see? It's a 7.0, and the IP address of this machine is 172.25.254.254, and the host name is classroom.example.com. Either you can use host name or host name CTL. Displaying the name. It is going to show you the same output, but in detail information like what is the chassis name, related stuff. So it's taking time. Meanwhile, I am going to host name CTL. No issue. It's throwing error. So let's open the server 1 machine. This machine will act as my web server machine in our case. This machine name is server1.example.com. Let's verify it as well. Host name CTL. See, the host name is server1.example.com, and this is a RHEL 7 operating system, as you can see here. And the IP address of this machine is 172.25.254.1. In the same manner, if you will see the puppet.example.com, this is a RHEL 6 machine. The client may be Windows, RHEL, anything. That's not an issue. Red Hat release and host name. And the IP address is 172.25.254.3. Let's verify the client 1 node as well. Let me supply the password. Let's open the terminal and verify the operating system. It's RHEL 6.4. IP address is 172.25.254.4 and host name is client1.example.com. So what I am going to do, I am going to configure server1.example.com as a web server first, and then we will open browser from client 1 and Puppet machine and try to access the page of server1.example.com. So let's configure the web server there, and then we will implement the port forwarding. So let me become root here, and let's see whether the package is installed or not. It seems the package is not installed here. So let's install the package. Yum install httpd. It's installing the package. Once the package will be installed, we will start and enable the HTTPD service. So let's start and enable HTTPD service. I am enabling at boot time so that whenever the system is going to start, the service will be started automatically. Let's see the status of firewall, what is allowed in the firewall. See, the web service is not allowed. That means the client will be not able to access the web service. Let me allow it. Firewall cmd -upon permanent -add -service http. Let me reload the firewall, and now see HTTP is allowed here. So if I am going to start the browser here on client1.example.com, and let me write here server1.example.com. So it's displaying the web page. This is the default web page. Let's do the same thing from puppet.example.com as well. So if you are writing any name, that means it's going to search for the host on the port number 80 by default. Server1.example.com. Right? Now what I want to secure, I want to forward the traffic of port number 80 to a different port. So we need to implement these things on server 1 machine. Let me write it here. What I am going to do, I am going to forward traffic of port number 80 to port number 9762 TCP. Right? This is what I am going to do right now. So Let's see. Let me open the server1.example.com. Now see, the HTTPD service is allowed. That means it's listening the request on port number 80 only. Let me show you. Netstat -tulnp pipe grep HTTP. Can you see it's listening on port number 80? So I am writing firewall -cmd, or you can see, if you don't know how to write the firewall related rule, you can either watch my YouTube videos, or what you can do, man-k firewall, and it is displaying the lots of man page. You can go through the man page. There are examples. You can go through the examples and come to know how you can configure it. But our objective is to complete the port forwarding. So let's do it. Firewall -cmd -list -all. Firewall -cmd -permanent add forward port. Which port you want to forward? You want to forward port number 80 request, isn't it? So I am writing port equal to 80, and protocol is TCP, and you want to forward the traffic to port number 9762, or if you wish, you can write here as well 2ADDR if you wish to forward the traffic to a different machine, because you are forwarding the traffic of port number 80 to port number 9762 on the server1.example.com machine, so need not to specify the IP address. Or if you are more specific, only this address is going to listen on port number 9762, then you can specify. But in my case, it's not required. So I am hitting enter. Now let's reload the firewall. And now see, let's list all. Can you see? It's going to forward the traffic of port number 80 to port number 9762 to the same machine, isn't it? Because the address is not specified here. So now if I am going to open the browser and access the web page, so it will forward the traffic to port number 9762. Let me show you. Let's try to access the web page. See, the web page is not available from client 1. Let's try. See, it's not working. Why? The traffic is coming here. See, traffic is coming here on port number 80, and it's going to forward to 9762 as well. But web server is not configured to listen on port number 9762. If you wish, you can view using the command netstat as well, or let me show you in the file. The web server configuration file is etc httpd conf and httpd.conf. So here you can search for the port or listen. Can you see? It's listening on this address and this port number. By default, it's commented. That means whatever the IP address will be of this machine, on all the address, it's going to listen on port number 80. But I am writing 9762. Now let's check the configuration. It's saying syntax is okay. There is no any syntax error because you have modified the configuration file. So you need to restart the web service. Systemctl restart httpd. See what it's saying. It's displaying error of SE Linux. Errors are always welcome. Click on so. Either you can use the journalctl-action to view the details, or you can here click on details. Can you see it's saying what? If you want to allow HTTPD to bind to the network port this, then you need to modify the port type. So either you can just copy this command paste it there and define the port type. What may be the port type here? HTTP underscore cache underscore port underscore T or HTTP underscore port underscore T. See, these are the mentioned here. So either you can just copy and paste it, or you can see this information. See, if you are running in the multi-user environment, so how you will come to know? You need to write journal CTL. Let me just decrease the size, -xn. Let me restart the HTTPD service. It must going to throw error. Now see what journal CTL -xn. Journal CTL -xn. Can you see? It is displaying the same thing. System SE manage port -a -t and then port number. Let me just decrease the size. Yeah. Can you see? The same thing is there. You can copy it and paste it there. Let me show you on which port number SE Linux is listening HTTPD service. So you can write SE manage port -l and I am grabbing to HTTP only. So see, 9762 is not there. So we need to label the tag HTTP underscore port underscore T on port number 9762. So either you can copy and paste that command, but I am writing here SE manage port -a to add -t for type, and I am writing HTTP underscore port underscore T. Protocol will be TCP, and we are going to label the port number 9762. Hit enter. So it's going to label the port number 9762 as HTTP underscore port underscore T. Now if you will write, see, it's saying it's listening on port number 9762. Now restart the web service. So now it's started, and if you will write netstat -tulnp pipe grep HTTP, can you see it's listening on port number 9762 now. So now if you will hit, it must display the web page. Let's refresh the page. Can you see? We are able to access the web page. So it's able to retrieve the web page, isn't it? Or if you want to be more specific, like what you want to forward the traffic of only client 1, or if you only want to forward the traffic of puppet.example.com, then you need to configure the rich role. Let me show you how you can do this. See, currently we are able to retrieve the web page from both the machines because see, firewall happen CMD happen list happen all, because it's going to forward all the traffic or port number 80. It's not saying this is coming from this network or this IP address, isn't it? So if you wish to have more control, you need to then define the rich rule. So let me remove this rule first. Where is that? Yeah, at the place I am writing remove, and let me reload the firewall. Now if I am going to access the page, it's not going to display any page, isn't it? Because we have removed that rule, because it's going to send the request on port number 80, and currently port number 80 is not going to used by the web server right now. So let's refresh. Now what you want? You want, if the client 1 is going to send the request on port number 80, then forward that traffic to port number 9762. So you can do this as well. Let me show. First, let's see what is the IP address of client1.example.com. 172.25.254.4. Okay. So how you will write this rule? You need to write like this. Firewall have CMD. First, let's see. Yeah, firewall happen CMD happen permanent happen add rich rule, and here I am writing rule family IPv4. Need not to remember the commands, you can refer to the main page. Source address 172.25.254.4. If you wish to specify the network, you can write 0 / whatever is the CIDR. I am using 24, but I want to forward traffic of 172.25.254.4 machine to the port number 80, right? So if the request is coming from 172.25.254.4 on port number 80, so I am going to forward the port. Which port I want to forward? 80. On which port? 9762. And we need to define the protocol as well, so I am writing protocol. So now what this rule is saying, it's saying if the request is coming from this host on port number 80, then forward the port traffic to port 9762. Now let's reload the firewall. Let me write list all. Can you see there is a rule now? Now see, the traffic of this host is going to be forwarded. So let me open the machine client1.example.com, and if I am refreshing the page, see I am able to access the web page. But if you will try to access the web page from server puppet.example.com, see we are not able to retrieve the page because we have defined the rich rule there, isn't it? So this is something known as local port forwarding, isn't it? So let's see the diagram. So we have forward traffic on port number 80 to port number 9762 for the complete network. If you are not specifying, it's going to allow the traffic for all the networks. Or if you wish, you can create the different zones. You can write the source address. It's totally up to you how you are going to configure. But now, see, this is a Linux admin, and this admin is more concerned about the security. So what he want? He want to place a dummy server at the place of server1.example.com, and the client will hit on the server1.example.com. There will be no any web server running here, isn't it? Now our objective is what? If the request is coming from anywhere to server1.example.com port number 80, so forward the traffic of 172.25.254 0 network to classroom.example.com. That means you are forwarding the port number 80 request of this machine to classroom.example.com. So in order to do so, I need to remove the rules and web service from here first, because see that now here is no any web service running, but it's going to just forward the traffic. So you can place any machine there. So what I'm going to do, I am going to remove the web service from there. Let me remove the rules first. Remove. Yeah. Now let's reload the firewall, because this was the local forwarding what we have completed. Firewall happen CMD list all. Now what do we want? We want to forward traffic to different machine. So you can write firewall happen cmd happen permanent happen add rich rule. No, rich rule is not required. Add forward port 80, port equal to 80, not current 80. Proto TCP and 2 port 9762, sorry, 2 port you can write 80 as well on which machine? 2 ADDR 172.25.254.254. Let me check the IP what I have mentioned here. Yeah, 254.254. It looks fine. So this is going to do what? If the traffic is coming on port number 80 from any network, it's going to forward that traffic to this machine port number 80. And see, here you cannot specify the host name, you need to specify the address only. I am hitting enter here. Now firewall happen cmd happen reload. Now see that you are going to forward the traffic to different machine, and see the masquerade is not yes, so it's not going to forward that traffic. Let me verify you. See, it's not going to work. If you can see here, let's check to the client1.example.com as well, because the information is in the cache, that's why displaying. And see, I believe removed the web service as well. Let me remove that one as well. For the clarification, I am going to remove that one as well. I am writing here server1.example.com. Now let's the web service, remove the web service from here. See why this is not going to forward? Because the masquerade is no. Even you have configured the port forwarding here, it's not going to work if you are forwarding the traffic to a different machine. So let's write firewall happen cmd happen permanent happen add masquerade. And if I am going to reload now it must going to work. Let's see the list all. Masquerade is yes now. So now if you will access, see the traffic is going on port server 1. Can you see? Now we are able to access, isn't it? And we have mentioned what? server1.example.com. We have specified what? server1.example.com. The client is only going to hit on this port server1.example.com, but the traffic is going to forward to that machine. Let's check from this machine as well. Let's write server1.example.com, isn't it? So it's working. So this is how actually port forwarding works. So let me minimize this screen. Now if you wish to have more control, you can create rich rule here. That means if the request is coming from a specific host, then it's going to forward, otherwise it's not going to forward. You can do this as well. See, the web server is installed, web related package install, that's not going to affect. Let me remove that one. Remove HTTPD, because the traffic is going to forward. This is just for the clarification, so that you will feel more confident. That's why I am removing the package. systemctl stop HTTPD. See, the package is not there. That's why it's throwing the error. Now let's refresh Even it this is accessible. If you can see, let me just clear the history. Where is the history? Yeah, let me close this one, and now I am writing classroom. Sorry, you can write client is only knowing about server1.example.com. We are able to retrieve the web page. So we are hitting on server1.example.com, but server1.example.com is configured in such a way that if the request is coming on port number, it's going to forward that traffic to classroom.example.com machine. Let's verify from here. Okay, we were verifying from this machine. Okay, so let's see the same thing from the different machine like Puppet. Okay, that is different machine, that is client1.example.com machine. So see, even now we are able to retrieve the page. Now let's do the same stuff and use the rich rule. If you wish to have more control, you can configure rich rule. Let me show you that as well. Sorry, this is my server machine, actual web server. So where is the server one? Yeah. So I am going to remove this rule. So instead of add, I am writing remove. You can do the same stuff for FTP, SSH, all this thing. Firewall, happen CMD, happen reload. List all. So masquerade must be yes if you are forwarding the traffic to different machine. Now I am writing firewall happen CMD happen permanent happen add rich rule. What I am going to do, I am going to forward the traffic which is coming from the puppet.example.com. So what is the IP address of puppet.example.com? 172.25.2543. What I am saying, if the traffic is coming, if the request is coming from 172.25.254.3 on server1.example.com port number 80, then forward the traffic to classroom.example.com. Otherwise, do not forward the traffic. So let's do it. So I am writing rule family, and it's only going to work with IP version 4. No, it's going to work with IP version 6 as well. Masquerading is only going to work with IPv4. So port forwarding is going to work with everyone. Rule family IPv4, source address I am writing 172.25.254.4, or if you wish you can specify the network if you wish to allow a particular network. And then I am writing forward port 80 request, protocol will be TCP, to port will be 80, and to address will be 172.25.254.254. Now let me reload the firewall and now see the list. So now the rule is specific, isn't it? If the request is coming from this specific host. So let's try from the puppet.example.com machine. Let me close this page. Let me first clear the history. And let me just scroll. Looks like the screen is maximized. Now let me write server1.example.com. Can you see? It's forwarding the traffic to classroom.example.com. And if you will try to access the same page from client1.example.com, it must not going to work. This is in the cache, that's why displaying. Let me clear the history. Let's close this one. Now write server1.example.com. Why it's forwarding the request? Let me verify. Okay. From this machine, see, this is a client1.example.com. What IP address I have specified? Okay, I have specified 3. Let's see what I have specified. 4. 4 is the IP address of which machine? Client1.exam. See, this machine is not going to be, because I have specified the 4 address, so it's going to only forward the traffic of client1.example.com. See, I have specified 4, so it must not going to work from the 3. So let's verify from the 3. 3 is client1.example.com. Let's open the browser and write server1.example.com. What's in the cache? Let me remove the entire thing, and now let's try server1.example.com. It's still able to forward the traffic. That means there is some issue. Let's open the server1 machine. Firewall -cmd -reload. Firewall -cmd -list -all. It seems okay. Due to the cache, it's forwarding traffic. Let me write firewall -cmd permanent remove and masquerade. It must not going to work. Let me reboot the machine because the information in the cache, so it may forward the traffic. That's why I'm going to reboot the machine. So my machine is rebooting. So it's coming up. So now if I will enable masquerade, it's going to forward the traffic of only that particular host. Let's see. It's taking time. Meanwhile, let me remove the cache information of both the machines. I'm just going to clear the history, and I am closing the browser as well. Let me do the same stuff on puppet.example.com machine. Let's open the browser here and clear the history. No. Yeah. So let's see, the machine is up now. Let's supply the password of student user. And now if I am going to open the browser here, and if I am writing server1 .example.com, see, we are not able to retrieve the page because the masquerading is disabled there. Let's verify from here as well. Server1.example.com. .com. It's not forwarding the traffic, isn't it? So when it's going to forward the traffic, when we will enable the masquerading here, because it's going to forward the traffic to different machine. So let's enable that traffic, su red hat and firewall happen cmd happen upon list all. See, I have removed the masquerade no is there, so let's add the masquerade. Firewall happen cmd happen upon reload. Now it must going to work. Now it must going to forward the traffic from the 4 machine 172.25 machine. Let's write server1.example.com. It's forwarding the traffic. Now let's verify from the puppet.example.com. Where is the puppet.example.com machine? If I am refreshing, see, the web page is not accessible, isn't it? So you can configure rich rule as well. I have specified the IP address of this machine actually 4, but we were talking about puppet.example.com. So you can do it for SSH, you can do it for telnet, you can do it for TFTP. For everything you can forward the traffic. Let me show you one more example. Let's forward the traffic of SSH. So let's open server1.example.com. So what actually we want, if these clients are sending the request, just a minute please.